Hello and welcome back to Petite Wreath Petite. Today I'm showing you how to turn a simple evergreen vase into this elegant, beautiful wreath. If you're new to my channel, please consider to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. Let's go over our supplies. First, we will need an 18-inch evergreen wreath base. A simple one will do the job since we will cover it all and you will not be able to see it anymore. The base is simply help must so we don't have to use so many of these greenery picks. I use different greenery like a pine bush or a balsam fir bush. When you are picking your greenery, it doesn't really matter what type. You just want to ensure that the green tones work well together. The flower is a poinsettia in this beautiful rose pink. I used 3 of them. And I feel like this rose makes the wreath so elegant. Also, you can keep it out all winter. It doesn't have this very Christmassy vibe, at least in my opinion. It is a wired flower. It comes all closed up, and all you have to do is opening the petals. And there was my cat checking in. We are using these balls, also in this beautiful rose, and some small berry picks in this rose glitter, matching the glitter part of the poinsettia. As for the ribbon, I picked 1.5 inch wired rose glitter ribbon and this 7/8 inch wired pink glitter ribbon, and combined, they just match very well. When it comes to our tools and basic materials, we will need some jute cord to create a hanging loop, a floral wire for the bow, a bow maker. If you don't have one, I do have a bow making tutorial in which I don't use the bow maker. I will leave the link in the description box below. We will also need scissors, wire cutters, and the hot glue gun. Now let's start preparing the greenery picks. These particular wired stems could just simply be taken out of the bush by just pulling on them. Yours might have to be separated from the main stem by cutting it with the wire cutters. You just have to investigate your bush at home. Before attaching the greenery, we need to prepare the evergreen wreath base. Simply fluff up the different wires on the wreath. Once finished, we can start attaching the first greenery bush. I had an assorted pick, so I like to divide the stems by size and shape. It makes it easier to attach the picks evenly onto the wreath. I had 5 of the big stems, so I attached one on the 12, 2, 10, 5, and 7 o'clock mark. Since the pick is wired, you can shape it to meet your needs. Especially with longer picks, I like to shape it more curved. To attach this pick to the wreath, just put some hot glue on the stem base and then preferably attach it to the base of the wreath. I had 5 of these picks as well, so I placed it in between the first 5 attachments. I only had 3 of these smaller stems, so I attached it to the 12, 4, and 8 o'clock mark. My cat made another appearance. I just love her. These glittery pine stems already came as single picks, but I wanted to divide them. I just felt like they were too much, so I cut the stem in the middle and got 2 picks out of it. I used 3 picks, and since I cut them down, I ended up having 6. This is another greenery pick with a lighter color, and I also had 3 of this one. And another shade of green, also 3 picks. As you can see, we are building up our wreath with different shapes and colors of greeneries. Once all the greenery picks are attached, we are ready for these beautiful poinsettias. The stem was too long, so I cut it down, leaving enough on it to have the possibility to bend it into an L shape to kind of create a little hook, which we easily can attach to the base. Since the poinsettias are a little bit more heavy, you want to make sure you have enough hot glue so the flower really stays on the wreath base. Since we have 3 flowers, I wanted one on the 12 o'clock, one on the 3, and one on the 9 o'clock mark, and then have the beautiful bow on the 6 o'clock mark hanging down. Just like for the flower stem, we want to bend the stem for the ball ornaments into an L shape. I attached ornaments right next to each flower. When you attach it, make sure you are lifting the greenery picks so you attach the ornament to the base. Now, when it comes to those little berry ball picks, most of them have been really easy to detach from the stem. Just a few needed a little bit of help from the wire cutters. The picks are not very long, so I attached them to the stems of the evergreen wreath base. And since those are wired, I wrapped them around the picks. I attached 3 berry picks between each flower, also in the section where the bow will be placed. Our next and final step is creating and attaching the bow. I used a bow maker for this wreath. If you don't have access to one, not a problem. I have a bow tutorial and I will leave the link in the description box below. We start with the glittery ribbon, which is 1.5 inches in width. And I wanted a very long tail, so I measured 18 inches. Once you have the 18-inch measured, you put this mark in between the dowels. I like to twist the ribbon before I put it on because the ribbon is not double-sided, so it only has one pretty side, and we want to make sure that it always shows. The first loop is 6 inches, so on the 6-inch mark, you hold your hand or finger to secure the length and move the ribbon back to the middle. Give it a twist, put it in between the dowels, and repeat the step on the other side. For the next layer, we measure 5.5 for the loop, so half an inch less. I would recommend to not reduce more than half an inch to keep the bow pretty. Originally, I wanted to stop here, just with the 2 loops on each side, but changed my mind and added another 5-inch loop. I just had to twist the ribbon between the dowels and continue my loops on each side. It's the same procedure for the pink ribbon, an 18-inch tail, starting with a 5-inch loop, and then a 4.5-inch loop. I had a leftover piece of this glittery ribbon, not long enough to create loops, but still a workable length. It was 22 inches, so I cut it in half, so I had 11 to 11-inch pieces. Added ducktails and put the 2 pieces in an X pattern between the dowels. I wanted to finish the bow with the pink ribbon, so I added another 18-inch tail, a 4.5-inch loop, and another 4-inch loop. Once we are done with the ribbon, we need to close the bow. Simply gather the floral wire underneath, crisscross it, and pull it tight. And then take the bow bundle from the bow maker and repeat this step on the back of the ribbon bundle. Let's attach the bow to the wreath. Gather the 2 ends of the floral wire, find your way through the greenery to reach the evergreen base, and secure it by twisting the wires together. You can cut the excessive floral wire or simply hide it into the wreath. Since we have the wreath already laying on the back, we might as well attach the hanging loop. Find the 12 o'clock mark. You might want to double check that you really have it and then attach the jute cord to the evergreen base. Finally, it's time to fluff up the bow. Just get your fingers or hands into the loops and open them. Lay them as you would like. I also finalized the tails for the glitter ribbon. I cut ducktails, and for the pink, I cut out triangles. We are done crafting this elegant winter wreath. I love how it turned out. I love those colors. I think you can leave it up beyond the holidays. You can purchase this and other wreaths on my website. I will leave the link in the description box below. Thank you for watching. I see you next time.